What's up, guys? Ian Sandusky from Lakewood Machine and Tool back here again for Practical Machinists as we continue our live coverage of IMTS 2024. And if you've come to this hall, you see the big blue signs, you know it can only be Shunk. I'm joined by Michael from Shunk to help tell us what's going on at the booth this week.
Yeah, so welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to be here for myself as well. We've got a few different themes kind of running through the booth, and one thing that's really big at the show today that I hear a lot of customers talking about is automated machine tending. And so automated machine tending, and especially when we start talking about smaller and medium-sized shops, how they can get into automated machine tending, flexibility becomes key. So we have lots of examples of that, how you can automate in a flexible way for low lot sizes and so on. Another big theme on the booth is 5-axis machines, multitasking machines, advanced machining centers. So we have a lot of really great solutions for work holding and different ways you can maximize the potential of those advanced machining centers. And talking about engineered solutions. The other thing we're talking with a lot of customers about is they're not just coming here to look at what components we have and what new products we have. They're talking about how we can provide solutions. So how we can provide solutions for clamping work pieces in op 10, op 20, op 30. So it's not just about, hey, here's a vise.
Buy it off the shelf.
Exactly. They're collaborating with us. They're collaborating with partners. So we have some good examples of that as well.
Well, I want to see some of these. Can we take a peek?
Yeah, please. So this display here, actually, I'm really proud of this one. The team did a great job putting this together. It just showcases all these different ways that you can bring automation into your processes. So not just from automated machine tending, but even as far as having automated like material removal, deburring, part finishing. So here what we're actually simulating is a great solution for really low lot sizes for automation.
High mix, low volume.
Exactly. High mix, low volume. Pallet storage is a great way to do that. And there's so many different ways to implement that. But here we're just showing you some of our standard components, like the NSR on the end of this robot arm. It's actually using our VeroS technology to grip these pallets and actually exchange the pallets. And what's being simulated here is a horizontal machine. So we're using our VeroS on the machine to actually clamp the pallets and exchange the pallets. And we're even using the VeroS technology to load and unload the pallets themselves.
So the same clamping stud that's on everything, the VeroS, it's going to interface with everything in this setup. You put it on there once, away you go.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's kind of actually like two different displays happening here. We have the pallet storage example here, and on the other side we're showing how you can actually what we call direct robot loading for machine tending. That's direct robot loading, I think, is what everybody associates the most with automated machine tending. Is just a robot gripping the workpiece and moving it into the machine. And so here we're just showing how we can do that. You notice just simple things like having 2 grippers on the end of the robot arm. Simple things like this can make it so that you're minimizing the robot movement and you're doing these things in a simple, effective way.
And the one thing I want to point out here, because I didn't look up, I was too overwhelmed with seeing all the options down here. That robot there is actually essentially tool changing its end of arm tooling depending on what it needs to do. And that's an extremely rapid process. It went from gripper jaws, now it's going to that VeroS system.
Yeah.
Very, very flexible in a small area.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed it out and talked about it because I was missing that. That's a really interesting point. We have this one robot doing so many different functions, and it comes back to the flexibility that we're talking about, is that you can actually, this is an automated version of the robot gripper changer. But we also make these in manual versions, so if a shop doesn't want to invest in a fully kind of automated version of it, they can also just get a wrist that has a manual lever on it to easily change the gripper, whatever you need to do.
Now this is a very incredibly, not complicated, intricate solution.
Yeah, there's a lot here.
A lot going on. Can feel a little intimidating for people when they want to start getting into automation.
Yeah.
Is there something that might be a good entry point for that?
Yeah, there is for sure. And actually direct robot loading in a flexible way is probably kind of the best way to look at that.
Right.
So we have a great display here. Do you guys mind if I just peek through here a little bit? Thank you. This display really helps to highlight that, because here's what people are used to the most is direct robot loading with a single gripper, a vise, and loading the workpiece from a storage area into the machine. What's really unique here is that in a really simple way, we're actually incorporating automatic finger change with the gripper and automatic jaw change on the vise. So that means that we can actually do two different types of parts. We can do multiple different types of parts depending on the fingers and the jaws that you have available. And we can change those over in a really easy way. And I love this setup because you can see right now we're actually changing the jaws on the vise to go from this larger part to this smaller part. But here now we're actually changing the fingers on the gripper, and it's so easy to do because it's just a mechanical system. So you can see that all we really have is two air lines going to the gripper and two air lines going to the vise, but we still have this flexibility to change between the jaws and the fingers.
No screws, no hydraulics, that thing just knows how to grip it, you program it, it switches them out. Yeah. For this here, I haven't seen one of these before. Yeah. What's that doing? Is that flipping the part for the robot to be able to grab? Yeah, it's just like a regrip station where it's flipping the part around for the part to be able to, or for the gripper to be able to regrip that part in different orientations. Between maybe op 10 and op 20, going below the second side. And it's a really super simple concept, but it can really kind of doing those little things in your automated process makes a big difference. Yeah. There's so much to see here. I think we should keep moving along. Yeah, let's do it. Great entry point. I was looking at this one earlier when I first walked by your booth. What are we looking at here? I haven't seen jaws move that far before. Yeah, that's a really good observation. So this is actually our newest version of this gripper. This is the gripper here. This is our EGU or EZU line, and what we're finding is that more and more customers are wanting to go with electric rather than pneumatic for various types of reasons, whether they want to get a more clean environment or they're just looking for the flexibility or data availability from the gripper. And so this is our ElectroDriven Gripper, and what you get from it is you get this full stroke where you can go from fully open to fully closed. So we were just looking at that display over there talking about how to change between gripper fingers and vise jaws. Well, here it's another way to achieve that same flexibility because you're now getting the flexibility to go from fully open to fully closed, and now you have that flexibility to change or to grip many different size work pieces. Right, if I need to grip it for op 2 and I've reduced everything to one little bit, well, I might still be able to do it with the same set of jaws without having them change. Yeah, exactly. And this is our newest version of this where we went from a 2-jaw to a 3-jaw version if you're needing that 3-jaw grip or needing to get all the way around the part. Now, I did see something over on the other side of the booth here I want to take a peek at. Do you mind if we go take a look? Yeah, please. Now, obviously, we know that, oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. We know that Shunk makes really, really attractive looking products, but this was a setup over here that I have not seen before. When we're looking over at this kind of Shunk layout, what kind of things are we seeing here? Yeah, so right here what you see is actually just our centric version of a manual. This is a manual 3-jaw chuck, and I love this chuck actually. This is, what's really cool is this is our 700 millimeter size, so about, now I'm trying to do math real quick, which isn't good. 14 inches or so, no, 18 inches, something like that. 700, let's stick with metric for now. I'm an imperial guy as well. Yeah, 700 millimeters. Anyway, so this chuck, what it is, it's a manual 3-jaw chuck, and a lot of people actually just don't even realize that these chucks are existing, especially in larger sizes. So we make this all the way up to 1.4 meters. Jeez, yeah, that's huge. As a standard off-the-shelf catalog item. But we can actually, we've built them all the way up to 3 meters in diameter. And what's nice is what you're doing is you're getting the benefit of clamping centrically on the workpiece. So if you need to clamp a part on center, a lot of people on larger VTLs or 5-axis machines are just using jaw boxes, right, which can be a really long setup to try and get something on center. Dial it all in and everything. Yeah, so this is a great way to clamp a part on center. But now stepping it up to even something even more universal is this Rota ML Flex chuck. And this is, we actually just came out with a new version of this chuck, and it's even lower profile than it used to be. What's really nice about this is if you're having a 5-axis machine and you need to have a universal work holding solution, this is the solution. This will clamp any part you need. These jaws can be positioned to clamp centrically as a traditional, like, chuck to clamp on center, or you can have them offset so you can clamp on rectangular parts. You also have the ability
to clamp with, or to make 2 of these jaws fixed. And so you could actually have fixed jaws where you're clamping on fixed datums. So, I like to just show the flexibility with these photos here. You can see the kind of parts you can clamp. You can just clamp anything with this chuck.
Oddball, whatever you need.
Exactly. So if you're having a 5-axis machine in Advanced Machining Center, you need to make sure that you're having work holding solutions to cover that. And this is like, if you were to buy one piece of work holding for that Advanced Machining Center, you get this chuck.
That's the one.
Yeah, exactly. And what's nice that we're showing here though too, is that there's a lot of different levels you can invest in depending on the size of your shop, the work you're doing, or at what level of automation you want to take it
Right.
to. So a great way to step that simple
From
investment
there
up
to here.
Yeah, is to go with a simple quick change pallet system in addition to it. So it looks like a lot here, right? But this is actually a standard component here. If you forget everything on top of it for a minute, this is a standard component. It's our NSL turn. And if you now you have a single table, 5-axis machine, you place one of these quick change pallet systems on it, and now you have the ability to quick change between a 4-jaw chuck, a 3-jaw chuck,
a 6-jaw chuck,
a 6-jaw chuck, yeah, or any kind of custom fixture that you need.
Right.
And what's really interesting here too is that this is actually a power chuck. So this has a hydraulic cylinder in it. And you wouldn't traditionally associate that with being able to be used on a FMS or pallet changing system. So what we've done is we can actually incorporate like a rotary union through the spindle, and that has hydraulic and air that can feed up through the Vero S system, and it passes through some ports here.
In order to actuate this.
Yeah, we can actually power work holding through the pallet changing system.
That's insane. I have not seen that level of integration between the bottom and the top to get that power across on a quick change pallet system.
Yeah.
It's hard to get your head around a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But we've been doing it more and more, and especially as people are just like stepping up their technologies and matching their work holding to their machines, anything's really possible. Yeah.
And so everything that we see here is going to be at the booth right till Friday.
Yep.
You guys also have the robots on display. You also have the traditional work holding. I see tool holders. There's a lot of stuff to come check out here at Shunk.
Yeah, and we're here to talk about solutions too. So we talked about the fact that we're not just showing components. Here's a great example of it. We can do custom jaws. We're here to talk about your problems and talk about solutions, not just products. We want to figure out how we can help you improve your processes. Yeah.
And if people can't make it to the show, where can they go to find out more?
Shunk.com, or find me on LinkedIn, whatever. Yeah, Shunk.com is a great place to start.
And of course, if you are at IMTS 2024, make sure you swing through. We still got a couple days left to go. As always, make sure you stay tuned to our live stream as we continue from the show. Thank you very much for watching, guys. You take care.